Hello again. I'm back. A big mabuhay, everybody. Man, it's been quite a year, hasn't it? I'm sorry I disappeared there for quite a while. There are lots of messages asking what happened and wondering if I had hit an early demise. The answer is no, I'm still alive, baby. I'm right here. Hello again. Hello. I'm back. For better or for worse, I'm here to stay. I just wanted to get back online. I'm reaching out to all my friends and family out there in the Philippines. I heard about the lockdown and I just want to do what I can, and maybe provide a little entertainment for myself and for those that, need to keep their spirits up. Unfortunately, we had to leave the Philippines for a lot of reasons. Had to help my mother out, number one. And number two, the money was running low, really low. And we had some money, but, we waited as long as we could. And with God's grace and Philippine Airlines, thanks, Philippine Airlines, we were able to get out and, go back to the States. And so, but my heart really goes out to the Philippines. And man, it looked like everything was going in the right direction. And, I really hope, especially for my friends and family in Manila, which is basically everyone, that this thing ends, and people can kind of get back. It looked like things were back to normal. Everything was going okay. And man, hit with this right at Easter too. It's really, really unfortunate. But, I'm hoping that, I can provide a little bit of entertainment. I got the equipment. I was sitting around. I'm like, man, I got this stuff. And I really want to reach out to people and keep up their spirits and keep up their hope and keep up their faith. Because without faith, there is no hope. And when there's hope, there's possibilities. And if there's anyone tough enough to get through this, it's the Filipino people. And I learned that during lockdown. They just know how to survive. They don't look back. They don't look to the left or the right. They're like, we got to survive. And I was just amazed by the strength and bravery of all those people in the Philippines. All those people that lost their jobs and they had to get, new jobs temporarily or they lost everything. And they just picked up and they just kept going. And I really admire them for that and their bravery. And I just, let's just hope this thing ends in, in a week or two, at least for the greater metro area. And things get back to normal, get some tourists in there, get some people going back. I know there's lots of expats that want to go back there. And I will say it here, I shall return. I don't know when, but I shall. I don't think I have a choice anyway. I'm married to a Filipina, but I will be coming back. Unfortunately, things didn't work out this time. But that's the way life goes, right? And what I learned from the Filipino people is just keep going forward. Just don't look back and just keep going. And their bravery and commitment, to their families and friends and just really, what they did, it was just amazing, and my heart goes out to them and my prayers go out to them, to everyone in the Philippines and how tough they really are. In the West, we kind of don't really give people, in developing countries enough credit of how tough they really are. And, until you're in that situation and you see what people have to go through to survive, it really strikes at the heart. And just to see that the courage and, a lot of Americans, if something like that happened to them, and it is happening right now, but, they have a lot of government assistance, and it's not as bad as in the Philippines. There's a lot of, the stimulus checks, and I've cashed them. They're cashed. But a lot of the stimulus checks and stuff are helping people out, and, and people are taking on new jobs. But there's always a way, in the U.S. to have government assistance for food and things like that. Where in the Philippines, it's few and far between. You really depend on your family. So when I heard about the lockdown again, I was like, man, I got to reach out. I've never really disappeared like that before, but there are a lot of things, and maybe I'll talk about them. There's a lot of things that happened with my family at that time, and I just felt it was best to go off the air. So I hope this answers the question for some people that asked, where is he? Did something happen? No! With God's grace, and I'm very thankful to be healthy and happy, and everyone is okay. Especially when we decided to go back to the U.S. That was a really, really tough decision to go back. You're kind of stuck in the middle. And we had been waiting. I know some expats went back earlier, and I was kind of waiting and waiting to see like if things were going to improve. And things really were getting better, but not to the point where I felt like I could remain in the Philippines. It was taking too long, and my mom needed help. We needed to come back and assist her, and she's fine, she's healthy and everything, but she's older, she needs some help. So she really held out as long as she could, and we needed to get back for that. And also, like I said, the money factor was kind of weighing in a little bit, and I knew that if we stayed there and we couldn't make any money, it was going to be a problem. So we needed to take that risk, and it was not easy, to decide to take that flight. It kept me up a few nights, making that decision, but things seemed to be okay. I kind of felt it would be tougher and tougher to try to get back into the U.S. To get back into the U.S. now, you got to take a test or something like that, or whatever it is. And I felt at the time that it would probably be best to take our chances and go. And we gone on Philippine Air. They did a great job. It was a nonstop, and we kind of spaced ourselves out in the seats, and we kind of just used a lot of alcohol and kept our masks on, and it was okay. I was a little scared. I only ate stuff that was like in the bag, packages. My wife ate the regular food. I was like, no. So we had brought other snacks and stuff, and, it was okay. But I was a little more cautious than she was. And then, everything worked out. And, we're back. There's a little more freedom in the U.S. than the Philippines right now. Although I see some things on YouTube with the provinces and stuff, and in some areas, it seemed to be like almost back to normal and everything. But, I saw, Manila, Makati, those areas. And, man, it's really rough, especially for the holidays and how religious the Philippines is. And so, my heart goes out to that. And I just wanted to reach out, say I'm okay, say my family's okay, and that, we're going to try to get some stuff on there. I know we're talking to some of my family members. They're like, dude, we got nothing to do, and I was like, well, I don't know what I can do, but, I got all this stuff sitting around that I spent money on, and maybe, people will want to watch it. They'll find, maybe they'll find it amusing. And so maybe I can bring some hope with that. And, I was a teacher for 20 years. I feel a responsibility to try to help people when I can. And I don't know what this will do for anyone. And I hope it helps them. I hope it makes them laugh. This is just my son. Well, you should do a welcome back video first. I was just going to do top 5 funny things to make you laugh during a lockdown. And I was going to do something like that. But I thought I'd do a welcome back and, a little semi-serious kind of video. And, to answer those people that were asking if something had happened. And nothing, there was stuff happening, but nothing really, health-wise happened, So I wanted to reach out for that. And secondly, to have some fun. I do have fun doing this, and hopefully it'll bring a little joy out there to the Philippines. And maybe it will, maybe it will. So we'll think up some stuff. We're going to open up a couple more channels, some gaming channels with my son. And also, he's doing a dinosaur channel. So we'll all be on those channels and show you like a little bit of life, that's going on in the U.S., Filipino life, what it's like over here maybe. it's still, people are still very cautious here as well. There's not too many people going in the streets or doing anything. And, it's a little more, people don't have to wear face shields. We have to wear masks, but not face shields. And things seem kind of relaxed. The U.S. is trying to get back to normal. There's more vaccines here and things like that. So it looks like, we got our sports going and things like that. So things are kind of moving ahead. But I did want to reach out to you guys. I wanted to say I'm okay. And also, every St. Patrick's Day, because that's when I first went to the Philippines 13 years ago on St. Patrick's Day, which is March 17th. I wanted to reach out, and it was kind of depressing here that there were no St. Patrick's Day parades March 17th. But it always brings back memories when I left on the 17th and I flew into Manila. The old Manila airport, you know what I'm talking about? The old airport, it's like walking in like tunnels down there. It was like, whoa, not the new one, the old one. And it always brings back memory because I went, I'm Irish, and my dad took me to Ireland, and, it brings back a lot of memories for me about St. Patrick's Day and St. Patrick himself. And I thought for Easter I'd read this little prayer, St. Patrick's prayer. And my mother brought this up the other day during St. Patrick's Day, and she said, St. Patrick said, "I'm here through the strength of heaven." And as you see, it got me a little emotional. And it is the strength of heaven that will endure besides the evil that is happening right now with the pandemic. The strength of heaven will endure. And we have to keep our faith and hope alive. And so I thought I would say that prayer and send it out over the internet and send goodness out and faith and hope and hopefully charity. So let me get going with that. And I hope this works. It's the first time I'm kind of doing this, but we're going to do the prayer of St. Patrick. And as you know, St. Patrick was a slave. St. Patrick was in Ireland, but he was a slave, and he escaped. And he went to England, and he came back, and he converted all of Ireland to Catholicism. And according to legend, he also threw out all the snakes. And to this day, Ireland doesn't have any snakes. Well, at least no reptile snakes, right? But the strength of heaven, and that's what really got me going with this prayer. And I hope it helps everyone in the Philippines with this rather subdued Easter that we must remain, but the strength of heaven will endure. And so here it goes. The prayer of St. Patrick. I arise today through the strength of heaven, light of the sun, splendor of fire, speed of lightning, swiftness of the wind, depth of the sea, stability of the earth, firmness of the rock. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak for me, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me, God's host to save me, afar and near, alone or in multitude. Christ shield me today against wounding, Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left, Christ when I lay down, Christ when I sit down, Christ in the heart of everyone who thinks of me, Christ in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me, Christ in the eye that sees me, Christ in the ear that hears me. I arise today through the mighty strength of the Lord of creation. May the strength of heaven and the Lord be with you. Everyone, I wish you all well on this Easter. And I know it's, by the time I get this up, this is going to be past Easter in the Philippines. But may the strength of heaven support you and endure you. This will end. what is happening now. God bless and be well. And we'll be back soon with something else a little more jolly. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.